Most advice on bad habits pushes us to break them, as if force and willpower alone can erase years of behavior. But what if instead of fighting habits head-on, we focused on outgrowing them? Outgrowing bad habits means evolving your mindset, environment, and priorities, so those old patterns naturally lose their grip. It's a gentler, more sustainable approach that leads to real change, not just temporary fixes. In this mindset, growth replaces resistance, making transformation less about struggle and more about becoming your best self. Today we will talk about don't break bad habits, outgrow them. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. The illusion of willpower. The prevailing narrative around habit change places an immense, often unrealistic, burden on willpower. We are taught that if we just try harder, we can overcome our compulsions. This is a seductive but dangerous myth. Willpower is not an endless resource. It's a finite mental energy that depletes with use, much like a muscle tires after a workout. Every time we resist a craving, a distraction, or an urge, we are drawing from this limited reserve. This is why our resolve is often strongest in the morning and weakest at night, when we've spent the day making countless decisions, both big and small. The belief that we can simply will ourselves into a new state is a recipe for burnout and self-criticism. When we inevitably fail, we conclude that we lack discipline, rather than recognizing the inherent flaw in our strategy. Outgrowing a habit, on the other hand, is not about exerting constant force. It's about changing the environment and the identity that makes the habit relevant in the first place. Instead of relying on a weak and temporary mental muscle, we can build a strong and permanent system that makes the old habit obsolete. 2. The identity-based approach. Our habits are not random actions, they are manifestations of our identity. A smoker isn't just someone who lights up a cigarette, they are someone who identifies as a smoker. A procrastinator isn't just someone who puts off work, they are someone who sees themselves as someone who works best under pressure. The most powerful change, therefore, comes not from changing what you do, but from changing who you are. The key is to shift your self-perception. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to quit smoking," you can say, "I'm a non-smoker." Instead of, "I'm trying to be more productive," you can say, "I'm a productive person." This subtle but profound change in language signals a new identity to your brain. It's no longer a battle of resistance, it's a matter of congruence. When you see yourself as a non-smoker, the act of smoking feels dissonant and out of character. When you identify as a productive person, procrastination feels unnatural. 3. Understanding the habit loop. To outgrow a habit, we must first understand its structure. All habits, good and bad, follow a predictable pattern known as the habit loop, which consists of 4 key components: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue is the trigger, a location, a time of day, a person, or an emotion that signals your brain to initiate a behavior. The craving is the motivational force, the desire for the reward. The response is the habit itself, the action you take. The reward is the positive feeling or outcome that reinforces the loop and makes you want to repeat the behavior in the future. For example, the cue might be the stress of a long workday. The craving is a desire for relief. The response is to open a bag of chips. The reward is the temporary distraction and pleasure of the salty snack. The breaking habits approach focuses on the response, trying to force a different action. The outgrowing approach, however, seeks to change the entire loop. By altering the cue, replacing the response with a healthier alternative, or finding a different source for the reward, we can dismantle a habit from within, rather than trying to overpower it from the outside. 4. Designing a new environment. Our environment is a powerful, and often overlooked, determinant of our habits. We are not just rational actors, we are creatures of context. The candy bowl on the kitchen counter, the television remote on the coffee table, the smartphone within arm's reach. These are not innocent objects. They are environmental cues that trigger our bad habits. To outgrow a habit, we must intentionally design an environment that makes good habits easy and bad habits difficult. This is often called choice architecture. If you want to stop late-night snacking, remove the junk food from your house. If you want to read more, place a book on your nightstand instead of your phone. The goal is to make the desired behavior the path of least resistance and the undesirable behavior the path of most resistance. This isn't about laziness, it's about leverage. By making small strategic changes to your environment, you are giving your future self an advantage, reducing the need for willpower and making it easier to be the person you want to be. 5. The power of small habits. The journey of outgrowing a bad habit is not about making a dramatic overnight transformation. It's about a gradual, incremental process of building new positive habits. The power of small habits, also known as atomic habits, lies in their ability to create a cumulative effect. Instead of trying to break the habit of being a couch potato, start by committing to a 5-minute walk each day. Instead of trying to break the habit of spending money on unnecessary things, start by tracking your expenses for 5 minutes a day. These small wins build momentum and reinforce your new identity. They are not intimidating, so they are easy to start and easy to maintain. Over time, these small habits compound, and the person who started with a 5-minute walk becomes a person who runs a 5K, and the person who tracked their expenses becomes a person who is financially responsible. Outgrowing is not about a single monumental effort. It's about a series of small, consistent actions that build a new foundation, making the old bad habits obsolete. 6. Embracing imperfection. The breaking habits mindset often leads to a cycle of all or nothing thinking. We slip up. We eat one cookie after a week of healthy eating, and we declare ourselves a failure, abandoning our efforts entirely. Outgrowing a habit, however, is a more forgiving process. It's a journey, not a destination, and setbacks are not failures, they are data points. When you mess up, instead of giving up, you can ask yourself, what was the cue that triggered this? What was the craving? What could I have done differently? This non-judgmental approach allows you to learn from your mistakes and adjust your strategy. It's a process of continuous improvement, not a pass-fail test. By embracing imperfection, you remove the pressure to be perfect and create a more resilient and sustainable path to change. Outgrowing a habit means understanding that the occasional slip-up doesn't erase your progress. It's simply a moment to course correct and get back on track. 7. The long-term perspective. Ultimately, the distinction between breaking and outgrowing a habit is a matter of perspective. Breaking is a short-term, reactive approach that focuses on the negative, the habit you are trying to eliminate. It's a battle against yourself. Outgrowing, on the other hand, is a long-term, proactive approach that focuses on the positive, the new identity and the new life you are trying to build. It's a journey of self-improvement and evolution. The goal is not to white-knuckle your way through life, constantly fighting your urges. The goal is to become a person who simply doesn't have those urges anymore, because your new life, your new habits, and your new identity have made them irrelevant. It's about building a life so compelling, so fulfilling, and so aligned with your values that the old, bad habits simply fall away, no longer serving any purpose in your new and better reality. Instead of battling bad habits head-on, focus on outgrowing them by evolving into a new version of yourself. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.